So welcome to the first DeviantArt related blog video sort of thing, or first blog video in general. I've written myself a crappy little script here, because I've done previous attempts of this and they really did not work well, so maybe this will be a good take. Anyway, I'm just gonna address some, I guess, stuff that's going on right now. Currently, I'm working on a revamp of my totally original, not really, avatar, Rorzatu. Just my DeviantArt avatar and my Twitch avatar. I guess basically my logo. It's a Pokemon. Yeah, totally original. Anyways, I'm working on a revamp of that since I haven't done a revamp of my avatar in a very long time. Don't worry, YouTube avatar is not changing. And I'm also currently working on the 2016 redesign of Mara, a Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword OC of mine. And it's been a slow process, mainly due to the fact that I'm not 100% confident in my people drawing skills, but I'm hoping to get there. That should be done, and God, I hope like maybe another week, because jeez, freaking taking forever. And speaking of Mara and Gurren, this is what this blog is going to be about. We're going to talk about them. And we're going to talk about, them. So if you're not familiar with my, presence on DeviantArt, and you may or may not be, around back in, 2012, 2013, I made 2 Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword OCs. Female Skyloft Knight in training by the name of Mara and her Loftwing stand-in, Hrock named Gurren. And she was special because she had a Hrock instead of a typical Loftwing, which is, if you don't know what the Hrocks are, you know in Lanayru Desert in Skyward Sword, a desert place, there's these giant green birds. And yeah, those are pretty cool. So that's why I went ahead and made an original character with a Hrock instead of a Loftwing. And despite the fact that I tried several times to create some kind of story for these 2 OC characters, I never could be able to do it properly. Every time I do it, it seemed really freaking shitty and stuff. So, yeah. And, even now, version number 4 of the story, it's not any better. So, I hate to say it, as of now, after I finish Mara 2016 redesign, I'll get that finished, the Mara and Gurren story is permanently cancelled. It is cancelled. I will no longer be working on it. I might draw them from time to time, but I'm no longer going to be actively working on the story at all, nor considering a revival at any point. So, alright, you're probably like, but Zatu isn't, didn't you want to do this? Isn't, it's your characters, and you've been trying to make this work for a while now. Well, you are right, and you are also wrong. Let me just talk a little bit about, I guess, how this became a downfall, how these characters went to the garbage dump of death and the place where OCs go to rot. So, as recently as later last year, the co-creator of the story, good friend of mine, Kargarok, helped me with formulating a revival sort of story for them. Yeah, and as good as it was, I just couldn't get a feel for continuing writing the story at all. It's all the past failed attempts that I've written of the story permanently tainted the characters for me. As in, literally, I feel like another reason why I find it so hard to draw Mara and Gurren, especially Mara, uh, is because when I look at these characters, all I see is stress and disappointment. And I'm not even kidding. Since the beginning, I've stressed over not even being able to finish any of the, like, what, 4 versions of the story I've created over the years. And each time I failed to finish one and just couldn't continue because I was directionless, I went blank, I didn't know what to do, and it read horribly. I felt like I was letting everyone down who was looking forward to the story just with my inability to competently write anything. Especially Kurgaruk, since the characters practically wouldn't even have gotten this far or existed at all if it weren't for his ideas and encouragement towards further development of the story. Because he is the co-creator, even though he's more like the founder of these characters. And no, I didn't always feel like I couldn't make a story out of them. In fact, about a year and a half out of the 4 or so years I've been working on these characters, basically since I started DeviantArt, I truly felt like I could actually do something with them. But after the second failed attempt, just everything fell off of that. Like, I just really wanted to drop the whole thing. And then I made a foolish decision, just to fake my enthusiasm for the following years. And the reason why I did that is because I honestly hated to see Kurgaruk's dream for these characters die. And I say his dream because at that point it was no longer really my dream. He was the only one who had enthusiasm and hope for the characters to continue development. So I ended up making 2 more failed versions of the story. One of which I started as recently as last year when Kurgaruk pitched the idea. And for the moment, the new concept that he pitched, like, did give me a lot of enthusiasm because I thought, oh, well, maybe I could actually do this now that I have something unique to go off. Especially because it was mainly for changing Mara's character a little bit, so it could make her easier to write and sympathize with. But that did not last long. And after that, the only thing I wrote off of that short bit of enthusiasm was a vague sort of plot outline, and that's it. That's pretty much it. So yeah, Mara and Gurren's story is permanently cancelled, and it's almost entirely my fault. I mean, it's not really Kurgaruk's fault, since he wasn't the one who lied to himself and everyone around him for 2-something years. But to say he wasn't in some way involved with the cancellation of the story would be entirely a lie. But it was mainly my part, and in my opinion. And I don't have a problem at all if you pin all the blame on me, since, yeah, at this point I'm totally cool with being called out for all my shit moves, because those were some pretty bad moves. I've made a lot of bad moves. Might have to do a full-on exposed video, eventually. Zatu exposed. Zatu alert. DeviantArt alert, that's it. That's what it'll be called. But yeah, that's my blog. Wasn't it a cool blog? Wasn't it positive? Like, I know, if you want to hate me for this, go ahead. I don't have a problem with it. I've never had really anyone hate me in my life before, so, I guess, hooray for first being hated on. Yeah, so that's the end of that.